اللهم صل وسلم. اللهم صل. استغفر الله. استغفر الله. استغفر.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله فقال سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. فما هو حق الله بالتقوى؟ ففيها أقوال الصحابة والسلف الصالحين كما أخرج ابن القيم الجوزية وابن كثير والطبري وكثير من الأئمة العلماء. Today we begin with a reminder that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained upon us to have taqwa. Have that awareness of Allah. Have that fear from the punishment of Allah. To have that realization that Allah sees us. To have that love for Allah. That is all contained within the concept of taqwa. That obedience to Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah that we hear in almost every khutbah, the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam used to recite in the khutbah when giving the khutbah of nikah, the khutbah of hajah, the khutbah of Jumu'ah, the khutbah of Eid, he would repeat this ayah. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is addressing who? Ya ayyuhalladina amanu. The people of Iman. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, that when you hear in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, be attentive to what's being said. Because we all hope that we are from the people of Iman. So Allah is addressing us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained taqwa on the nas. Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu rabbakum. Generally, Muslim, Kafir, everybody should have taqwa of Allah. It is the right of Allah. But in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is specifically addressing the people of Iman. And He tells them to have taqwa. And then He tells them, as is the haqq of Allah, as is the right of Allah, to that level. But what does that mean? Me and you have heard this ayah in khutbah every Jumu'ah. Many times you're sitting, when the Imam is giving a regular talk, he recites this ayah. You're sitting in a nikah, the marriage ceremony, you hear this ayah. You're hearing, oh, but did we ever think, okay, Allah is telling us to have taqwa. Okay, what does that mean first off? And then what does it mean to have it to that level? We never thought about it. Just kind of daydream through your khutbah. La. And this is a tadhkara, it's a reminder, we should think about it. What does Allah want from us? What does Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala order us with? Taqwa is not mustahab. It is not something that is good to have. It's not voluntary. Allah has ordered it, al-amr. The amr, in usul al-fiqh, we know when there's an amr, yadul ila al-wujub. It points towards something wajib. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders it, what does it mean? Here there are many aqwal from the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, and from the Salaf al-Salihin, from the early generations, that Ibn al-Qayyim and al-Tabari and Ibn Kathir and other A'imma and ulama have quoted. I'm just going to mention a couple of them as a reminder for me first and foremost, and for my brothers and sisters in Islam. This is not a khutbah to sleep through. If you were planning on catching up on your sleep, you came to the wrong masjid today. This is inshallah a reminder to wake up to. Not just wake up from sleep, but from the sleep of life. From the zombie walking that we do, going through life day in and day out, work, home, eat, sleep, repeat. No, wake up. What does it mean? Many of the ulama, they gave opinions. Ibn Mas'ud, for example, radiallahu anhu, the great Sahabi, he says that this is that you should always obey Allah and remember Allah. And other Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they gave beautiful, Anas ibn Malik, he gave the tafsir of this ayah, that you should hold the tongue. Here the haqq of Allah, meaning that you control the tongue. But one of the most comprehensive and beautiful explanations is from one of the earlier scholars, Talq ibn Habib. And this is mentioned by Ibn al-Qayyim, and Ibn al-Qayyim says that this is one of the most jawami', the most comprehensive of statements. Al-Dhahabi and others have mentioned about Talq ibn Habib and who he was. I'm not going to go detail. But one of the earlier great scholars of Islam. What does he say? What does he say about taqwa here? He says, عَمَلُ بِتَعَاتِ اللَّهِ عَلَى نُورٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. There's a few things, I'm going to take them one by one. You're going to memorize this today, inshallah, alright? If I see you outside, I'm going to ask you. So pay attention. Yeah? He says, to have taqwa of Allah is the right of Allah. The first thing, that you obey Allah with the nur from Allah. What does that mean, nur? It means with the guidance that Allah has sent. The Quran, the Sahih Ahadith, the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the way of the Salaf and Ummah. This is the nur from Allah. Allah has revealed the Quran as a nur, as a guidance. He sent the Prophet ﷺ as a nur, as a guidance. So you obey Allah, but in the way that قال Allah wa قال Rasul ﷺ. Not that you obey Allah the way you want. This is a fitna in the ummah today. Everybody made the deen into what they like. I like making dhikr, khalas, that's the whole deen for me. I'm just going to sit in a corner, make adhkar, and make tasbih, and this, and that's the deen. No, that's a part of the deen. Somebody, they like giving sadaqah, khalas, that's the whole deen. Not going to make salah, not going to fast, just going to give a lot of money. And I'm going to say, look, I give this much money and this much. Alhamdulillah, giving sadaqah, giving zakat, giving khairat to the poor, part of the deen, but not the full deen. The deen is what Allah has ordered. Salah, siyam, ruku, sujood, all of that. Everything, da'wah, dhikr, ilm, jihad, all of that is a part of the deen. We can't deny any of it. We have to be complete Muslims. So we obey Allah as Allah has ordained in the Quran. We don't say, this is the way my family does it. This is the way my culture does it. This is the way adat of my father. This is the way my madhab. No, this is the way of Rasul alayhi salatu salam. That has to take precedence. This is the religion. What the Prophet alayhi salatu salam brought. Not what your grandfather did. I don't care about your grandfather's, whatever he did. May Allah accept his good and forgive his bad. And may Allah accept my grandfather's good and forgive his bad. But that's not the deen. The deen is قال الله وقال الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام. Then he continues, the raja, and he had hope in the thawab min Allah, the reward from Allah. That you're doing it wanting the reward from Allah. You're not just making salah, like you could make salah the right way. Your ruku is correct, your sujood are correct, your hands are in the right place, your dhikr is correct, but you're doing it to show people. That's not the deen, that's not taqwa. You come to the masjid so they can say, MashaAllah, that brother, we need to go to his shop because I see him in the masjid all the time. No. That brother, you can't say anything about him because he makes so much dhikr, he finished the Quran so many times, he does this, he does that. If you're doing it for that show, that's not the deen. That's not taqwa. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ, and a well-known hadith. The first hadith in al-Bukhari, the first hadith in the Arba'un, the first hadith in Riyadh al-Salihin. So that's the second aspect, that yes, you obey Allah in accordance to the way that Allah has ordained it, but you're doing it wanting the reward from Allah, not from the people. Not that, okay, I'll give khutbah, then I'm going to charge you $400. I'm not getting paid to be here. Ask the brothers. This is serious. I have a masjid. Brothers are like, I have a khatib rate. $400, by the way, that's the going rate. Yeah. For regular people. Famous guys, then you gotta pay the thousands. You know? I got a speaker wanted $6,000 for one lecture. MashaAllah, you can do brain surgery while you're at it. This is the problem. People do a lot of things nowadays for show. They want to get recognized. They want this, they want that. You're not expecting the reward from Allah, then it's not going to do it for you. Hatim al-Ta'i was a famous Arab, famous for his hospitality. Till now you'll see Hatim al-Ta'i restaurants, Hatim al-Ta'i mat'am. Why? He was famous for being generous. But he died on kufr. From his daughter and others from his family, they ended up becoming Muslim. And they brought the message to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, my father, Hatim, he was generous. He helped the poor. He hosted the travelers. He took care of the needy. He had hospitality for the guests. That he was he became like a famous like sign of hospitality. What will he have in the hereafter for it? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said nothing. Why? Why did he do it? He did it so he could be famous. He did it so he could be known, that the Arab could appreciate him. And that's been done. So nothing in the hereafter. Think about that. When you do good deeds, when you give da'wah, when you give sadaqah, are you really doing it for the sake of Allah? And if you're not, the answer is that you need to then change your niyyah and still do it. Don't let shaitan trick you. Okay, it's for show, so I'm going to give up salah. No! You can't give up salah. Man tarku salah, faqad kafar. Whoever abandons the salah has clearly done kufr. So you can't abandon the good deed. You can't not give sadaqah. No, you give sadaqah, but you check your niyyah. And you fix your niyyah. So much more to talk about, but due to time. We continue. وَتَرْكَ الْمَعَاصِي عَلَى نُورٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. And then you leave the sins upon that guidance from Allah. What does that mean? That you leave the sins that Allah made haram in the Quran, in the Sahih Ahadith, upon the lisan of al-Mustafa alayhi salatu salam. You don't make up your own idea of sins. Today some people, something is halal, they make it haram. Something is halal, no, you can't do it that way. No, it's wrong. Why is it wrong? And what is haram, they ignore. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, once he was asked by some of the people from Iraq about whether they got flies' blood on their ihram. He told him, you're worried about this, and when the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was being murdered, you didn't care. And ajib. Today somebody, ajib, it's been flipped upside down. You'll be making salah and maybe you won't have your head covered. Astaghfirullah, brother. Your salah is not accepted. Is it part of my aura? What? Huh? But then the same brother, let's go have food at my smoke shop. You're selling bongs, bro. How are you going to talk to me about covering my head? Everything in its place. What does the Quran say? What does the Mustafa alayhi salatu salam say? What is mustahab? What is makruh? What is haram? What is shirk? I know those things. Today you'll see somebody outwardly crying, making a lot of dhikr. But then they go to a qabr and make sajda to it. That's shirk. What are you doing? That's more dangerous than other things. No, brother, but he makes a lot of dhikr. What's he making dhikr of? You need to know your priorities. And then Tariq ibn Habib, he finishes, he says, with the khawf min adhabillah. So you leave the sins, not because what people are going to say. Not because, if I drink, then people are going to say, I'm not going to give him my daughter in marriage. So when nobody sees, then I'm doing whatever. No, you give up the sins because you know that Allah sees you. And you know that Allah will hold you accountable. It's a huge problem today. Everybody's worried about other people's sins. Brother, did you see that guy down the street? Or did you see that guy on YouTube? Did you see this guy? Did you see this imam? Sister, did you see this sister? Did you see her hijab was like this? But nobody's worried about themselves. Yourself, you will have double the sins of the other person, but you'll be like, look at that guy. You think Allah will ask you about that guy in the qabr? Well, Allah ask you about you. What you did. How was your salah? How was your iman? How was your yaqeen? How was your tawakkul? Those are things you should worry about. Amrad, the disease of the qulub, of the heart. Hasad, shuh, shirk, riya. These are things that we need to worry about. My respected brothers and sisters in Islam, the Salaf of the Ummah, they gave us great examples. And I don't have time. Inshallah, we have a conference in Stockton this weekend. We'll go over more in details. But one thing Ibn al-Qayyim, he says that's amazing. And I'm going to summarize from his work that's mentioned in Madarij al-Salikin. He says taqwa, first off, is an obligation. It's fard. Yeah. And then he says that it has darajat, has levels. The first, that is an obligation on every Muslim to have taqwa from shirk and kufr. ينتقي العبد من الكفر والشرك. You know, nowadays, you just had Christmas, a pagan festival, of idol worshipping festival, with its roots in Saturnalia. Nothing to do with Isa ibn Maryam, nothing to do with Christianity, nothing to do with Islam. a straight pagan idol worshipping festival that the Christians even know that that's where it's from. And you had Muslim organizations, Merry Christmas, Happy, I don't know, Hanukkah, I don't know. Merry what? What are you congratulating? Kufr? Shirk? Idol worship? What's wrong with you? What pressure is so heavy on you? What gun was put to your head that you will stand in front of Allah and justify that? Imagine on the Day of Judgment, when Allah is standing, no more excuses, no more hiding behind your Twitter account, no more blocking people out, no more ability to just be like, we do whatever we want and, we need to build alliances and this and this. Allah will tell you, I was your alliance. I was the one you're supposed to put tawakkul on. I was the one that gives you nusrah. I was the one that gave you Fatah Mecca. I was the one that gave you Badr. I was the one that gave you victory over Faras and Rome. Who did you turn to? What will we answer? The next level, to have taqwa from the ma'asi. My brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah sees me and you when nobody else sees us. When your browser's on incognito, when you're on that hidden mode, when you're alone, Allah sees you. And Allah sees me. No matter what people think of me and you, people will look at you and be like, MashaAllah, this sister, this brother, this. But Allah knows your hearts. And you know yourself. And you know what you need to work on. Let today be a beginning of that. Let this khutbah be that day that you finally kick that habit. That you leave that sin. That you think it's not about what other people. I want to imagine me on the Day of Judgment. An-nar is there. The hellfire is alive. It's a living thing. Being dragged with malaika and chains. Wanting to engulf the sinners. The Jannah is there. The bridge is there. The malaika are there. Allah is in front of you. Now think of whatever sin you need to leave and tell me why is it you can't leave it. What is so important about it? What is so essential that you must indulge in that sin? What will be your excuse in front of Allah? This is some taqwa. Then to have taqwa from the shubuhat, from the doubtful matters. Today, this is another fitna we're in today. Shuyukh, may Allah protect them. I'm not a shaykh, I'm just a talib ilm. But the shuyukh that we look up to, may Allah protect them. A lot of them, they fall into this fitna as well, where they just open up a bunch of opinions. Like, Shaykh, is this halal or haram? Well, in this madhab and in this shaykh, and there is a qawl, and then there is another qawl, and then there is another qawl, and then there is no answer. It's just a buffet, Take what you like. You think that will get you away in front of Allah? Nowadays, you see somebody dealing with riba, selling khamar, and you tell them, this is haram. They said, well, a shaykh gave me fatwa. You think fatwa will save you on the Day of Judgment? If that could be, then the Christians and Jews would have an excuse. They would say, our rabbis told us we had fatwa. When Allah talks about them worshipping their rabbis and priests, some of the Sahaba, they came to Rasulullah, as the Tabari has mentioned in his tafsir, they said, Ya Rasulullah, we don't worship them. When there were Christians and Jews, they said, we didn't worship them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered them. He said, didn't you take halal, what Allah made haram, with their statement? Then you worshipped them. So if a shaykh makes halal for you that which you know is haram, that the Quran has made haram, that Al-Mustafa alayhi salatu wasalam made haram, then you are worshipping that shaykh above Allah. Na'udhu billah. And you will have no excuse on the Day of Judgment. Fatwa will not get you away from the punishment of Allah. You know right from wrong. You read the Quran. You know the Sahih Ahadith. There are still A'imma and Ulama on the Haqq telling you right from wrong. The next level is to have taqwa from the things that are mubahat. The things that are permissible, but a waste of time. Today, again, huge fitna for us today. Everybody wastes time. You get on TikTok and just waste time. One foolish, ignorant cat falling off a wall video after the other. One skateboarded failure attempt after the other. You know what I'm talking about, right? And you go through this, and now you spend 2 hours just going through 10-second, 30-second clips. But you spend 2 hours at it. What did you get from that time? Yarhamakallah. What did you benefit from that time? Life is short. You don't even know how long you have. And when Allah holds you accountable, tells you, okay, you had this time, why didn't you do this? Ya Allah, I didn't have time. Today we tell somebody, Akhi, we're going to go give da'wah. Akhi, I don't have time. We have a halaqah, I don't have time. We have a conference, I don't have time. We have a Quran dars, we don't have time. But then you get on Netflix, and mashallah, 4 or 5 hours later, you still had time. I'm not even talking about the haram things on Netflix. I'm not even talking about the haram things on YouTube. I'm talking about things that are mubah. Even that you will be accountable for them on the day of judgment. And the last level, as Ibn al-Qayyim mentions, is the taqwa, of the hudur, of the being careful of ghayrullah. Where you make yourself, where your 24 hours day is in the obedience of Allah, in the remembrance of Allah. You sleep according to the sunnah. You get up, you make your adhkar. You go to the masjid, you make your salah in jama'ah. You go to work, you're making adhkar. You're listening to, if you're going to listen to something, you listen to a lecture or da'wah or Quran or something that benefits you. You get on YouTube, you watch that, was only that is benefit. Anything else, right click, not interested. You make your 24-hour life where you are remembering Allah. You're working. You're having a family. I'm not saying you go sit in a cave somewhere. No. But you're doing it in the obedience of Allah. So 24 hours you are aware of Allah. Anything ghair Allah, anything useless, you block it off. Anybody starts backbiting, khalas akhi, I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't listen to that. Anybody says that you saw who won the FIFA, I don't care. It's a ball, somebody kicks it around, whoever gets it in the wall, what does it matter? Yeah, it's basketball, whatever. Football, whatever. What does that benefit me? I don't care who wins the Super Bowl, to be honest. I was there in Qatar during the FIFA World Cup, what is it called? World Cup, whatever, right? And they were like, Akhi, you're here, we'll take you to the game free. I was like, no, I'm good. I'll stand out here and give da'wah instead. It's just the final game. I don't care. What if Argentina wins? My life is not going to change. What if France wins? I don't like the French, forget it. The ban hijab, what am I going to... No, we have to be about the deen. We have to be about Quran and Sunnah. That should be our thing. Some people are like, I'm a car guy. You can like cars, I have nothing against that. But your identity shouldn't be based on that. And you are Muslim. That's your identity. That's what you're about. Who am I cheering for? I'm cheering for the Muslims. I don't care what country they're from. That's my identity. That's my people. Who are my people? Muslims. This is where we need to get ourselves to be in the levels of taqwa. وَقُولُوا قَوْلِ هَذَا أَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. ظلمنا أنفسنا ظلما كثيرا ولا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت فاغفر لنا وارحمنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر. اللهم نعوذ بك من عذاب الجهنم وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل. اللهم نسألك الجنة. اللهم نسألك الجنة لنا ولوالدينا لمن له حقا علينا. اللهم نسألك الجنة وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم اشف مرضانا واغفر موتانا واغفر لنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. وأخي أقم الصلاة.
Before we start the prayer, don't forget everyone is moved
Can we
forward.
move in the first row?
We're not praying outside, inshallah.
Can we move in the first row?
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا واعتدلوا واتموا الصف الاول فالاول. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. الله الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. القارعة ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية الله يا الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Uthman, for beautiful reminder. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. I mean, Sheikh Uthman, he was not at the FIFA World Cup only. You can see him in everywhere where they have a big gathering. He's, mashallah, Allah blessed him with a specialization in dawah. And he's from San Diego. You can find him on the YouTube as well. That if you want to learn about dawah, you can see that, mashallah, Allah gave him so much strength how he talked with the people from other faiths regarding the dawah, inshallah. And we will request him, inshallah, that he can come back in Masjid al-Nur and give us some kind of workshop how to give the dawah to the non-Muslims, inshallah. And he already mentioned that he won't charge. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. And tonight we are going to have a program. We encourage all the brothers and sisters, especially youth, to come about and learn about the Surah Al-Hujurat. Sheikh Zahid will give the tafsir and the translation and the core theme of the Surah Al-Hujurat. We encourage all the youth, brother and sister, to come and attend after Isha tonight, inshallah. A couple of days ago, Brother Muhammad Shatnavi and Abdul Salam Shatnavi mom passed away. Please remember her in your dua, and all the deceased, whoever passed away, please remember in your dua, inshallah. And we will pray asr tonight, today at 2:36, 2:37, whenever the asr time starts. Jazakumullahu khairan wa assalamu alaikum.
I just wanted to say thanks for the Sajid and the board and everybody in the community. Allah, it's very good to see this beautiful masjid and the beautiful community, and I make dua. Allah protects you and increases you in your goodness.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that there is a story time for the kids from 5 to 13. It will be in the auditorium. Inshallah, we encourage all the little kids to come as well to